Feudal Japan. The world is narrow, unforgiving, and sharp as the edge of a blade. In this world, Miyamoto Musashi does not rise because of luck, nor because of divine favor, nor because fate smiled upon his name. He rises because he understands something most men spend their lives running from. The self must be conquered before any enemy can be defeated. Steel is not the first weapon. Discipline is. Silence is. Relentless inner order forged in chaos. Musashi walks alone not because he rejects people, but because he understands that distraction is the most seductive enemy of all. Every step he takes is deliberate. Every breath is measured. Every moment is training, whether the sword is in his hand or not. He knows that mastery is not built in the duel. It is revealed there. Built in the mornings when no one is watching. Built in the nights when comfort whispers and weakness offers excuses dressed as rest. Musashi does not negotiate with weakness. He observes it, names it, and cuts it down. He wakes before the sun, not because waking early is noble, but because the mind is quiet there. In that quiet, truth cannot hide. Fear shows its face. Doubt speaks its name. Laziness exposes its hollow promises. And Musashi listens, not to obey, but to understand. He studies himself the way others study opponents. He learns his own patterns, his own hesitations, his own tendencies to flinch when pressure rises. Most people run from this mirror. Musashi stands in front of it until the reflection stops lying. He knows that the enemy you can see is never as dangerous as the enemy you pretend isn't there. The sword is heavy at first. So is discipline. So is solitude. But weight creates strength. Resistance builds form. Musashi does not seek comfort in balance. He seeks growth in imbalance. He trains until the body trembles. Not because pain is virtuous, but because pain strips illusion. When the body shakes, the mind reveals what it is truly made of. This is where discipline becomes identity. Not something you do, but something you are. Not an act, but a state of being. Musashi understands that consistency is more powerful than intensity. 1,000 small, precise cuts shape destiny more than one dramatic swing. Around him, men chase recognition. They chase titles, praise, validation. Musashi chases clarity. He knows that applause is loud but fleeting, while self-respect is silent and permanent. He does not need witnesses to his struggle. He needs results. Every duel he wins is decided long before blades meet. Decided in the hours of unseen repetition, in the refusal to indulge impulse, in the discipline to stay when the mind begs to quit. This is the hidden code. Victory is not achieved by overpowering others, but by outlasting your own excuses. Musashi understands that hesitation is the true killer. Not the enemy's blade, but the moment of doubt before action. That fraction of a second where the mind asks, "Am I ready?" instead of declaring, "I am." So he trains to eliminate that pause. He trains until movement becomes instinct, and instinct becomes truth. In battle, there is no time to think yourself into courage. Courage must already live in your bones. That is why Musashi lives with strictness, not cruelty, precision. He eats simply. He sleeps when necessary. He denies himself excess not because pleasure is evil, but because indulgence dulls the edge. Her dull blade still looks like a sword, but it fails when it matters. He watches others fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack direction. They scatter their energy, chasing 10 paths at once, mastering none. Musashi chooses one path and walks it to the end, no matter how lonely it becomes. He knows loneliness is not the absence of people, it is the absence of purpose. When purpose is strong, solitude becomes fuel. The silence sharpens focus. The emptiness becomes space for growth. Musashi does not fill his life with noise to escape himself. He removes noise so he can hear the truth clearly. Every loss he experiences becomes instruction. Every mistake becomes data. He does not carry shame like a burden. He carries lessons like weapons. This is why defeat never defines him. Only stagnation does. He adapts, he refines, he evolves. The discipline to change is just as important as the discipline to persist. Many men cling to old methods out of pride. Musashi discards what no longer serves the mission. Ego has no place in mastery. Ego is loud. Mastery is quiet. When fear arrives, and it always does, Musashi does not pray for its removal. He trains himself to move with it. Fear is information. It signals importance. It sharpens awareness. The disciplined mind does not panic in fear. It uses it. He breathes deeper. His stance lowers, his attention narrows. Fear becomes a tool, not a master. This is what separates warriors from victims, not the absence of fear, but command over it. Musashi sees time differently. He does not rush, yet he never delays. He understands that urgency without clarity leads to mistakes, and patience without action leads to regret. So he acts when the moment arrives, fully, decisively, without second-guessing. His life becomes a series of committed moments. No half-effort, no divided attention. When he trains, he trains. When he rests, he rests. When he fights, he fights. Presence is his advantage. While others are distracted by outcomes, he is immersed in process. The world tries to soften him, to offer shortcuts, to suggest compromises. Musashi refuses. He knows that every compromise weakens the foundation. Discipline is not flexible when it comes to principles. You either uphold them or you don't have them at all. This rigidity is not stubbornness, it is alignment. When your actions align with your values, energy flows cleanly, doubt dissolves, confidence becomes quiet and unshakable. Musashi does not announce his intentions. He does not boast of future victories. He lets his preparation speak. Silence is strategic. Words are promises you must later defend. Musashi prefers action because action cannot be argued with. While others talk about what they will become, he becomes it. One repetition at a time, one choice at a time, one disciplined moment stacked upon another until identity is forged. He understands that motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like weather. Discipline, however, is climate. It shapes everything beneath it. On days when motivation burns hot, discipline channels it. On days when motivation disappears, discipline carries him forward anyway. This is the difference between those who start and those who finish. Musashi does not wait to feel ready. He trains because training is who he is. Feelings are temporary. Identity is permanent. Pain becomes familiar, not as suffering but as signal. His muscles ache. His hands blister. His mind strains. And still he continues, not blindly but intentionally. He knows when to push and when to refine. Discipline is not mindless brutality. It is intelligent endurance. He listens to feedback without indulging complaint. Complaining wastes energy. Adjustment multiplies it. When Musashi faces an opponent, he does not see a man, he sees patterns, breathing rhythms, weight distribution, micro-hesitations. Years of discipline have trained his perception to notice what others miss. This clarity is not talent. It is the reward of consistency. The mind becomes sharp when it is not cluttered with excess. Simplicity creates speed. Order creates power. He accepts impermanence. Life is fragile. Victory is temporary. Death is inevitable. Instead of fearing this, he uses it. Urgency sharpens commitment. Knowing that time is limited makes every session sacred. Every sunrise is a chance to refine the blade. Every sunset is an audit of effort. Did I honor the path today? Did I act in alignment with who I claim to be? Musashi holds himself accountable when no one else will. He understands that mastery is lonely, because excuses love company, but discipline does not. When you choose the harder path, fewer people can walk with you. That is not a curse, it is proof you are moving forward. Musashi learns to draw strength from isolation. He becomes his own standard, his own witness, his own judge. Comfort tries to reclaim him, to pull him back into ease, to remind him of how heavy the discipline feels. Musashi remembers the cost of comfort. He has seen men grow soft, slow, predictable. He has watched potential decay into regret. That memory fuels him more than praise ever could. He does not train to feel good. He trains to be ready. Readiness is peace, not relaxation, certainty. The certainty that when the moment comes, he will not freeze. He will not bargain. He will not wish for more time. He will act fully, cleanly, without hesitation. This certainty is the true reward of discipline. It follows you into battle, into hardship, into every confrontation life presents. Musashi's discipline extends beyond the sword. It governs thought, speech, posture, intention. He knows that how you do one thing is how you do everything. A sloppy mind creates sloppy movement. A scattered life creates weak resolve. So he tightens the standard everywhere. He walks with awareness. He speaks with purpose. He listens more than he talks. Every small act becomes practice for the decisive moment. He is not cruel to himself, but he is honest. Brutally honest. When he falls short, he does not invent stories to protect his ego. He names the failure, studies it, and adjusts. Shame paralyzes. Responsibility empowers. Musashi chooses responsibility every time. This is why he grows while others repeat the same mistakes under different names. He does not chase balance. Balance is static. Life is not. He chases harmony through adaptability. When conditions change, he changes. When the terrain shifts, his stance shifts with it. Discipline gives him the foundation to adapt without breaking. Weak systems collapse under pressure. Strong systems evolve. Musashi understands that discipline is not about control over others. It is about sovereignty over self. A man who controls himself cannot be controlled. Threats lose power. Temptation loses leverage. Chaos loses its grip. This inner sovereignty is what makes him dangerous. Not anger, not aggression. Calm clarity sharpened by preparation. When he stands before an opponent, there is no hatred. Hatred clouds judgment. There is only presence, full awareness of now. The past is finished. The future does not exist. There is only this breath, this stance, this moment. Discipline has trained him to live here, where action is pure and unfragmented. He knows that legacy is not built through intention, but through habit. What you repeat becomes what you are remembered for. Musashi does not try to be legendary. He tries to be precise today. Greatness is a byproduct of daily alignment, not a goal you chase directly. The hidden code is simple but unforgiving. Remove what weakens you. Reinforce what strengthens you, and repeat until there is no gap between who you are and who you must be. Most people know this intellectually. Few live it. Musashi lives it because he has seen the cost of not doing so. As the years pass, his discipline compounds. What once required effort becomes natural. What once felt heavy becomes light, not because the work diminished, but because he grew stronger. This is the promise of discipline. It hurts less over time, while regret only grows heavier. And so Musashi walks forward, blade at his side, mind clear, body ready, not seeking battle but prepared for it, not chasing validation but anchored in self-respect. His life becomes a testament to this truth. When discipline becomes your identity, nothing outside you can break you. Feudal Japan does not slow down for reflection. Seasons turn, rivals sharpen their blades, rumors move faster than men. And still Musashi continues forward, not reacting, not chasing, not defending an image. He understands that the moment you begin to protect a reputation, you stop protecting your growth. So he remains unknown where it matters, and undeniable where it counts. He walks into villages where his name carries weight, yet he does not carry himself like a legend. Legends are fragile. They crack under expectation. Musashi chooses something stronger than legend, truth. He lets each encounter strip him further of illusion. Every fight, every journey, every night alone under an open sky asks the same question. Are you still aligned with the path, or have you drifted without noticing? Discipline is maintenance, not a phase. Not a transformation you complete and move on from. Musashi knows that the moment you assume mastery is permanent, decay has already begun. The blade must be cleaned daily. The body must be trained daily. The mind must be corrected daily. Rust does not announce itself. It appears quietly in skipped practices, softened standards, tolerated excuses. Musashi refuses to let rot grow in silence. He understands something most men never learn. Freedom is not found in doing whatever you want. Freedom is found in no longer being ruled by what you want. Desire is a powerful force, but undisciplined desire turns men into servants. Musashi does not kill desire. He commands it. He channels it. He aims it like a blade. This is why his life looks simple from the outside and unbreakable from within. There are days when fatigue settles deep into his bones. Days when the road feels endless. Days when the silence grows heavy instead of sharp. Musashi does not dramatize these moments. He does not ask why the path is hard. He already knows the answer. Hardness is the cost of becoming something rare. Ease is common. Weakness is crowded. Strength demands space, and space feels like loneliness to those who do not understand its purpose. So when doubt whispers you could stop, Musashi answers with action. When the mind suggests comfort, the body moves anyway. Not angrily, not rebelliously, calmly, as if there were never another option. This is the quiet power of identity. He does not force himself to train. He trains because not training would feel unnatural. Discipline has replaced negotiation. He sees warriors obsessed with technique but blind to temperament. Fast hands, sharp eyes, weak minds. They break when plans fail. They panic when conditions change. Musashi trains for disorder. He practices in bad weather, on uneven ground, in discomfort, because reality will not honor perfect conditions. Discipline that only works when things are easy is not discipline. It is rehearsal for failure. He learns to fight with two swords, not to impress, but to unbalance expectation. One long, one short. Adaptation over tradition. Results over appearance. Musashi respects tradition, but he does not worship it. He understands that tradition is a foundation, not a prison. The disciplined mind knows when to preserve and when to evolve. Rigidity in thought is weakness disguised as loyalty. Every journey hardens him in subtle ways. His posture straightens. His gaze steadies. His movements lose excess. There is no wasted motion, no wasted emotion. Efficiency becomes instinct. Calm becomes default. While others burn energy proving themselves, Musashi conserves it, then deploys it with finality when the moment demands. He notices how the world reacts to presence, how noise quiets when focus enters the room, how chaos hesitates around someone who is internally ordered. This is not dominance. It is gravity. Discipline creates gravity. People feel it before they understand it. They sense that this is a man who will not be moved by pressure, praise or provocation. And still, Musashi does not mistake control for invincibility. He remains a student of timing, of terrain, of himself. The greatest danger, he knows, is believing you have nothing left to learn. Arrogance dulls perception faster than age ever could, so he keeps the beginner's mind alert, curious, ruthless with assumptions. When he loses, and he does lose, he loses privately. He does not collapse in public despair or seek sympathy. He dissects the moment in silence. Where did awareness slip? Where did timing fail? What emotion entered that should not have been there? Loss becomes refinement. Pain becomes precision. Nothing is wasted. He understands that discipline does not make life smaller. It makes it clearer. Distractions fall away. False priorities dissolve. What remains is sharp and essential. Purpose replaces confusion. Direction replaces anxiety. The path narrows, but power increases. The Musashi no longer measures progress by victories alone. He measures it by response, how quickly he recovers, how cleanly he adjusts, how little the ego interferes. True discipline is visible not in perfection, but in recovery time. How fast you return to center after impact. Kaz's years carve lines into his face. They carve certainty into his spirit. He no longer rushes to prove. He no longer fears being tested. Readiness has settled into him like bone, not loud, not dramatic, unshakable. And so the path continues, endless, unforgiving, exacting. Musashi walks it anyway, because he knows the final truth, the one that separates those who dream of strength from those who embody it. The world does not bend to intention. It bends to discipline. If this story sharpened your focus, strengthened your resolve, and reminded you of the discipline required to master your own path, then support this journey, like this video to honor the message. Subscribe to stay connected to stories that build strength from within, and share it with those who are ready to rise above comfort and choose discipline over excuses, because paths like this are not meant to be walked alone.